Welcome to the Valmark Back Office Heroes video podcast series. I'm Geoff Moore, Chief Information Officer with the Valmark Financial Group. And with me today is Ashley and Coayne. And we're going to learn a little bit more about them and their roles at Valmark. So Ashley, let's just kind of start with you. Real high level, like what is your title? Sure. What is your role? What do you do at Valmark?
Sure. So high level, I've been here for 8 years. I am currently at a business analyst level on the commissions team. I mainly work with our member offices. I like to help them track their commissions. I help also with onboarding and agent of record changes, mostly just deep diving into commissions and make sure that everything is paying okay.
Yeah, awesome.
So, high level.
High level. So Coayne, welcome. What is kind of your title role here at Valmark?
I am a licensing and registration specialist. I've been here 22 years. Yikes.
You're our historian. You're the Valmark historian.
I am the Valmark historian, among other things, yes.
Yep.
Our team and I do all of the appointments and contracting for all of the reps. We do onboarding. We do all the FINRA registrations. We do all of anything they need to write a piece of business.
Awesome. So before we dive into your roles a little bit more and how you help member offices, I thought it'd be fun to just start with some fun facts to get to kind of know you as people first. Now, Ashley, we were talking earlier and you told me that you were the most boring person on the planet.
I am. I hate that I'm going first right now. Oh, I am.
And then you told me what your hobby was. And I was like, are you kidding me? That's awesome. So would you mind sharing kind of your hobby?
Sure. Yeah. So I have a great family. My mom and my sisters and my sister-in-law, it was during COVID and everybody was going out. We were getting these crickets, right? Like the cricket machines. And my husband by trade is a carpenter. And we kind of put him to work and he started building these beautiful signs for us. And we put the cricket to the test and we started to make all these like fun signs. And wreaths and fun craft.
Yeah, so you're making these fun signs, right? And then we have some new member offices that join.
We did. So I was on a call with, I don't even know if they remember this, but Brandy and Cindy. We were going over, some onboarding, like transition stuff. And Cindy spotted a sign in my dining room that we had just made. We were working from home again, right during, COVID. And she asked if I could make a sign for one of the new member offices, and I did, and I actually made several for Cindy and some of the member offices. And
I know she's like I'm totally boring. My only hobby is just like doing cool stuff for member offices. I'm like, oh my gosh.
And so we did that for a little while, and it was great. It was a lot of fun, and I think that they have some really cool pieces to display on their desk. And I think I told you. When we do signs, like we started out like with signs like on the wall, like they're large signs. So when Cindy asked, like, hey, can you make a sign for the member office? The first time when I did was like that large. And Caleb was like, do you think we could scale it down a little bit? Like, because it was huge. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, it was pretty big. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, that's like what we do. That's like what's hanging in my dining room. And so we did, we still do it. We still try to get together a couple times a year. My mom, my sister-in-law, and, Pinterest, my husband, when I'm on Pinterest, he's like, no, just put it away. Just like, you got to put it away. And because he knows he's going to be put to work. And he's a good sport. He's such a good sport, but we've done some really cool things.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
Coayne, now you brought in a prop as well to talk about your hobby.
I brought in Coco's Confections. So for the last 9 years, I have a cottage bakery on the side when I'm not working at Valmark. And we do cupcakes and cookies and chocolates and caramel dip, chocolate dip,
gluten-free
pretzel,
too, all of it.
Gluten-free. We do it all. So we brought some fun little minis to share today.
Awesome. And I know we've gotten a chance, I know for like Valmark parties and stuff, you often bring in to share.
I do treats for the office as well. I've also done several things where for recruiting where they've asked me to send stuff to member offices. So I have done that too.
So it sounds
for
like it's
new onboards.
I did not know. That's awesome.
Yeah, Cindy and Brandy had me doing.
Oh,
It's
that's
fun.
so cool.
I'm picking up a theme today. So it's like if you want to be a recruit and you want to get some really fun swag, I mean, like
Come to the accounting and licensing department.
Yeah, you never guess, right?
That's right.
Yeah, for sure.
We have a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
We do good.
All right, so switching gears,
Mm-hmm.
we'll start with Ashley. So tell us a little bit, maybe more in depth about kind of commissions, because I think most people, they just think like, well, a thing comes in, you guys do the computer, and it gets paid, and like that's the end of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's definitely.
I guess if it's working
more into
exactly as it should,
it is.
That's the case.
It is. So there is a lot more into it. So you think you just get like a check and a statement, and you process it, and you pay it, and for a little bit of that is. But you also have a lot of electronic feeds that come in that you have to make sure that it's processing and paying out correctly, and that there's schedules to follow, the rates. You just have to make sure that everything is going out correctly. But on the backside, and where more I am at, is you don't realize as a member, like with the member offices, when they get their commission statement, the amount of work that the office puts into to reconcile against what they have. And that's where like we try to make the member office's life a little bit easier. And within the last couple of years, they've rolled out a lot of cool and great tools to help the member offices. And that's where I love to be, and help the member offices, help them track.
Yeah, I forget the exact phrase you used with me before, but it was just something like you like to think about it so that the offices don't have to.
Yeah, it's sad. Just a couple of years ago, I was talking to a member office, and you don't realize how much time and effort they are putting into tracking their commissions. And they're like, my job is to grow my business, not to track commissions. And I'm like,
well, that's what I'm here for. That's my job.
Like,
tell me about
leverage
it.
me.
Yeah, leverage me. Let me know
So
what you need, and I'll help you.
that's when they rolled out the process trades report, and we were getting this launched, and a lot of member offices were reaching out, and Excel too. Not everybody is Excel savvy, so just teaching a member office how to organize a pivot table, and how that just freed up so much time. Just
questions.
Yes.
Just a simple like, hey, couple quick tips and tricks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that has been a huge tool for the member offices, and
I know you've been a big help. I mean, sometimes technology will be the one implementing, but we have no idea unless we have people like you that are talking to offices, talking to member offices, letting us know what the needs are, what we need to adjust, change. So I know you've been really helpful in helping driving all that, doing testing, making sure what we write is correct, and so that's been awesome.
It's been really, really great.
So we'll come back to you in just a sec.
Yeah.
But Coayne, tell us a little bit more kind of licensing, behind the scenes, what you get involved with.
Yeah, so anytime they have to do any kind of a case, they need to check their licensing. We need to make sure that they're registered in the right state. We need to make sure that they're appointed in the right state. They have the right license. If there's product training, there's a lot of things that go into getting appointed for them to do a case. And they don't always think about that. So we're like, call us. We rolled out a tool last year where they can go on to Connect, see.
Connect is our member office facing tool.
Yep. Right. They can go on to Connect, see where they're licensed, what they're licensed for, whether they're securities licensed or they need an appointment. But they just need to reach out to us and say, hey, this is what I'm selling. This is what we're doing. We'll give you all the parameters and how to get it done.
Yeah, I think that's a good example too, because I think, a lot of people, if they're not with an organization like Valmark, right, if they're just with their broker dealer, maybe the FINRA licensing might be a little bit easier, or if with the insurance, there's a lot of variation depending on how much they sell or don't sell and what states they're in and the specific products. It gets a little bit more complicated, but the nice thing about having somebody like you in an organization like Valmark, if they do both insurance, securities, it's one stop.
Right,
It's one stop.
We look at it all.
Yep.
Depending, you just tell us the product, you tell us the state, we can tell you what you need to do.
Yeah.
If you need to get a license, whatever it is, we have the means to help you get that done.
Yep.
You just got to give us all the parameters, and off we go.
And for the most part, with some help from your team and technology, we've been able to automate some of that so that the easy stuff, the really easy stuff, you can see like you sent on Connect.
Right.
But then for the more difficult items, that's when you guys can step in and really help them to make sure that the product they want for their client is
right.
Yep.
That they're properly licensed and registered so that when the case is sold, Ashley can pay them, right?
Yeah, Ashley can pay them.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so it's this is like no time for modesty. So I hopefully I teed you guys up. So tell me about a time. We'll switch back to Ashley here. Tell me about a time that like something went sideways or was challenging, and you were really able to help a member office with something kind of difficult or unexpected.
So I would have to say the most challenging, and it's actually come a long way in the last couple of years, is if we think about just like age of record changes.
Mm-hmm.
An office is retiring or selling their book of business for one reason or another. There's a whole lot of moving pieces and parts that go. So not all the time is like the timing perfect, right? So when somebody leaves and they've sold their book of business, compensation might not flow exactly how they think it's going to flow. There's just like that timing gap, right? But just working with, we have an awesome operations team, right? We've got a great commissions team. We've got some great leaders. IT has helped us out a ton. I think when things start to go, sideways, and we can work with the member offices and get commissions back paid and, worked out and flowing exactly how they intended.
Mm-hmm.
But that would probably be the biggest example, is just helping the member offices when they're going through
something that
different. Large.
Yeah, it's one thing when it's the day-to-day routine, it's all set up. It's when they start making a lot of changes or life events, so to speak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that would probably be my
awesome
best example.
All right, how about you, Coayne? Where's your hero moment?
I just think that for us, it is a lot of, they need to make sure that they are doing the right training and it's all done before they take apps. Daily, we get
call ahead of time.
Yeah, call
if you're
ahead of
thinking
time.
about it.
Just spend that extra 5 minutes and call us or email us. We'll get right on it for you. But most of the problems we see is because they haven't done their training before they've taken an app. Then they need to go out and go back to their client.
Yeah.
That irritates the client. It irritates the rep.
Yeah.
And get new signatures. And just make sure you're upfront, licensed, pointed, training's all done.
So both of you have been at Valmark for a while, like you mentioned. Is it 8 and 22? Is that right?
Oh my gosh.
Sounds strange to say it out loud, but one of the things we find is like that's a long time. Not only for this organization, but for just in general, right? So you've been here a long time, and I think a lot of the people we've talked to in this series, they've decided to be committed to Valmark for a while. So why are you still here? Why have you found Valmark the place where you want to have your career?
My turn.
Yeah.
So our values, right? They're written right up on the wall. Every day you pass them, you look at them. That is why I'm still here. Not only the values, and you have great leaders, but our team. I report up to Elizabeth and Nathan. They've all been here for just as long. They're absolutely amazing. Just the culture, right?
The culture. Absolutely.
It's huge. It's absolutely huge.
So is it the same thing for you, Coayne, or was it something else?
Yes, no, basically it's the same thing. And I've had several jobs here.
That's true, you
But
have.
yeah, I've had a few jobs
I feel
here.
like I've had a couple jobs too.
You've had a
I know
couple
I've been in technology, but I feel like I've got to do a bunch of different
So
things.
I've had a couple jobs and worked for a couple people, and all of the management is top notch. You can't find better top-notch management that wants you as an employee to succeed. That's the important thing. The golden rule marble, I believe in it. That's the way we live our lives, and that's the way everyone should. So hey,
it's not lip service.
It's not lip service.
Not lip service.
No, we actually do live by that and the core values.
Yeah,
it's why we're here.
Ashley, Coayne, thank you. This has been the Valmark Back Office Heroes podcast series. I'm Geoff Moore, Chief Information Officer for the Valmark Financial Group. Stay safe.